Hello everyone. Well, let's just jump right into today's garden tour. Stay tuned. All right, everyone. So I'm going to start over here with my grapes. So I do see here that this little grape has now started to produce, and I couldn't be happier. I'm going to go ahead and move these little weeds out the way. But I was worried about it for a while, but it is starting to pick up. So with all the rain, it is now producing grapes. So I'm sure this one will be just fine next year. And as for the main vine, loving them. Look how plump those grapes are getting. Yeah, so I have been trying to stake these back up, but with the rains that we're starting to get, this week we expected to have rain every day for about like 4 or 5 days straight. So they're getting the water, but it's also pressing them down. So the more I try to stake them back up, I just don't have the time to do it. But I'm definitely gonna have to get to it because I don't want them to break off and things of that nature. But the grapes are doing really well. And these are the Concord grapes. All right, as I work my way back this way, that grapevine is also now starting to produce. So I am excited, guys. Like, I don't know how to feel right now because I got both grapevines. I did have a third one over there by those sticks that I'm not seeing any growth on, but it's okay. 2 out of the 3 that I planted this year means next year they'll be thriving. Okay, before I work my way over this way, I'll just start over here with my medicinal herb patch. This self-heal, guys. Look at it. Like what? A little seed did that? I'm amazed. So I'm excited to see this plant thrive and see what it becomes. And then this amaranth here. This amaranth is doing really well. So I got a couple amaranths spread out throughout the garden. I did have one in my greenhouse, but because of the storms, I had to revamp everything, which we'll get to. So I wanted to see how one would grow in the greenhouse, but we might have to try that next year because it's a lot to do. We're trying to revamp some things. But anywho, the amaranth is still doing good over here. The marshmallow is doing good over here. The Ella Campaign plants are doing amazing. Motherwort, the yarrow. Both of these are yarrow. Here, my bee balm is so green and lush. My basil here, the purple basil, and the Thai basil is doing well. That alfalfa, I'm excited for that because some of the other alfalfa took a hit in the greenhouse. So I brought some out to kind of revamp it. Hopefully I'll get them. If not, I have that one. And then here, look at this echinacea. I love when the flowers open. Look at that. Here's that stinging nettle and another amaranth. That pink is gorgeous, guys. That pink that is. And then that purple dome aster. The potatoes are doing really well. So this drip irrigation, I just finally had my husband mounted here. The other one is there. So it will be for the rest of the potatoes here. So I can just make sure there's no shortage of water. The little bucket will go here that I'll keep the water in. The ones for these, I've placed that bucket under here. Okay, and what I started doing, you see that water is brown. What I started doing is adding compost to the water to help give it some fertilization so that I see now it made a whole lot of difference. Adding compost directly to that water. A game changer for me. We'll definitely be doing it. Over here, there's a bucket here. I did not add the compost to that because we just did this just to see. So this was the first one I did, and just look at the difference. If you have not seen the difference, I would definitely have you just check out my previous videos just to see. Like, everything is more lush to me. So I definitely noticed it. So every drip irrigation bucket will have compost in it. So there's one here, and then there's another one over there. I did add some to that one. Over here, I've added some potatoes. So I had some potatoes that had started to chit. They had chitted. So I said, well, it's late in the season, but I don't want to get rid of them. So this was my former lettuce table. All of the lettuce have been harvested. I had went on ahead and amended the soil, threw some back in there, just kind of amended it. And I said, let me just go ahead, and it was like 7 or 8 potatoes. So here they are. One is left over here. I didn't plant that one because I didn't want to. This table isn't that deep, so I did not want to just overload this table. So I said, let me just go ahead and just see. So I did place them in here. One of them is starting to come there. So that's the only one that I see right now that is starting to come up. But everything else, we'll see. So I'll keep my eye out on this. There are various potatoes. I know there was a russet and a gold potatoes that's in here. And one red. So we'll see. Over here is this bucket table with these two here. So I am going to move some of these buckets so I can get the rest of my summer crops in. Most likely I'll move this cabbage here and probably these 2 cabbages here. So I can get some peppers in here, my other okra plant in here. And then in the center, I'll either do tomatoes here or more peppers. And then of course the eggplant is here. But everything is watered really well and doing really well. These 2, I probably won't move these right away. I'll just see as I'm growing things and as we have more space as I harvest, I might add them. But if I find space for them, I'll just move them. And then this is that other potato. So this is what the potatoes look like. And I could cut this up right here, right? So you could take this potato and anywhere that you see, I'm getting a little close. So this could become its own plant. This could become its own plant. This could become its own plant. I could literally cut this up. And this one has started rooting because I just set it in the dirt. I can make about 8 potato plants off of that one potato, which is what I did here. So all of these potatoes are literally cut up into small potatoes. Every potato had the little chit eye on it. This table, I planted the whole potato, just to see. So I'm debating on if I want to cut that up. My grow season isn't that long. We're in June. I know I can get them to grow until at least late October and see what I get, which I might. That's why I left that one so I can decide. And then this is one that has started kind of wanting to chit. So I said, but it wasn't enough for me. I'm sorry, it wasn't enough for me. It had started to, but it wasn't enough. So I just said, I'll wait. I'm not going to do that. So over here, I did not make a lot of progress over here because I had a lot going on in the main garden, which I'll take you to. But I am going to add my 2 more pepper plants over here and just keep it moving. These pepper plants, though, most of them, 70% of them, are starting to bear their fruits. I don't know if you see them. 70% have, or at least are flowering. This one is still in the growth phase, but 70% of them have fruit and or flowers. Doing really well. This bucket system here is also thriving. All of these pepper plants have fruit on them. So all of them have their fruit. So really good. All of the okra is doing really well over here. Love it. So I did add a few. You can see some of the compost in here, which is just some onion scraps. It was a couple like broccoli stalks that are sitting in the bottom, things of that nature. So this is what I'm doing. I'm going to add compost, light compost, to each of my buckets that I use for my drip irrigation. So that's one there. I don't know if you can see it. And then that one. So total over here in this area, it will be 4 drip irrigations. In the main garden, I just have the 2 that I'm trying to do in the back. And then the main garden will have, at some point, its own. I'm just still working on that. So this is the progress of the coop. And he's still working on the electrical. But it's getting there, guys. It's getting there. So I don't rush it. You know, look at this little window. Can you see that little window, guys? Look at it. So right now it's my carpenter's storage spot for a lot of things, to keep my dog out of things. A little charcoal up there. But anywho, it's coming along. And he finally finished the cedar shake shingles on this side of their house, of their coop. So this is the run, this is their coop. So I'm loving it. Yep. And of course, this is where their nesting boxes will be. He's in the process of putting the cedar shake shingles on this side. So progress. But I don't rush them. The chickens are doing just fine in the house. They're growing really big. I'm preparing to get them a larger enclosure for if it just takes them a while. They're not in the laying stages yet, so they're okay. My pond area, flowers over here are doing good. No one has died off yet. So if they happen to, I do have other replacement flowers that I can put in this place. But so far none have died off. I do have to, you can see that area there. That area is thicker, that area isn't. That's because when the gazebo fell on it, it just knocked those plants through. So I'm just gonna thin out the other side to kind of make it match, and they'll grow back together. The beets at the top, so they're not growing as fast as I would like. So I need to hit them with a little fishy motion, because they're not moving fast enough for me. And then my 2-yard row plants up there, I don't know if you can see them. They're doing just fine. All right, and then again over here, this walkway here, all of these plants are doing fine as well. That alyssum is just doing this thing. It's so pretty. And the violas, they're all doing really well. Okay, so this is the part of the garden that gives me anxiety, because I had to clear out the greenhouse. So this is a whole new gazebo. I'll place a video here to kind of show you what happened with the old gazebo when it fell into the water. We could not repair it. We had to disassemble it and get rid of it. So it was previously the black one. This one is more of a brown color. I don't know if you can tell that from this video. So this is a newer one. They're working on it. My husband and a friend of ours, they're working on putting that together. But it's going okay. But I'll get to this area in a moment, because this is from my greenhouse. So we're just kind of getting things together over here. This is what I was stating with this plant. When the gazebo fell, they fell right in the middle. So we just got to chop that off. I just haven't had a chance to get to it, because I'm still doing a lot of other repairs from this storm/tornado that happened. Okay. Over here, I did a spinach haul. So I harvested all of the spinach that was in here, because it's getting time. It's getting a little warmer. This week is going to be really great, but I wanted to get it out the way, because if I didn't, it'll start bolting like this one is trying to do. And I just didn't feel like that. So this one isn't bolting. This half gets more sun. This half still gets moderate sun. So with that being said, I just took all of the spinach out, left the Swiss chard, left the red romaine, and I'm going to transplant some of those cabbages over here. So maybe 3 of those cabbages will come here. And call it a day, either 3 or 2 of them. And that's that. And just let this continue to thrive. So some of these plants out here are my herb pots that were along that fence. We have to move them out the way so they can finish building the gazebo, and we'll get it back, put them back. And then the other things are some things from my greenhouse, and then my 2 strawberry and cherry blossom green stalks that were in this area that fell. So this is all chaotic, but this is part of the progress. I want to show you everything, to show you what it's looking like now and what it will be like in 2 weeks, because we are going to have this all up within a week or 2. But this week is a lot of rain, so I'm saying 2 weeks, because we're supposed to rain every day for a week. So which will delay. I can only get out here so many hours out the day in my work week. So I'm giving myself 2 weeks to get everything together, and if not, 3. No rush. But it's definitely driving me insane. But today I'm coming out here to harvest the rest of that. If you can see it, my chamomile. I'm gonna get that today before the rain. Okay, but I'm working on it, slowly but surely. Okay, and these are some plants that I still had to plant and never got to. And then as we work are way over here. This is the green, where the green stalks are temporarily housed. So these are the ones that did not fall. Well, 2 of these did. We just revamped them. So this one fell. So as you can see, I had to amend things, put things back, get things going, save what I could save. This one was completely apart. Things were broken, you know. But hey, I salvaged what I could salvage, and we're gonna get it back going. The other one that fell was this one here with my carrots. So this broke. A lot of things broke, but I salvaged what I could salvage. I'm going to add more carrots. Well, there's have some carrot transplants that I'm going to do. They say, oh, they're not going to work well if you transfer them. Yes, they are, and I'm going to. So everything over here is going to be carrots all the way up, and any empty spot is going to be carrots. Everything else will be what you see. These endives will come out because they're broke, and it's just time. They're more of a cool weather crop. My stevia over here, look at it, but it's dry, so I got the water because it's been kind of hot, cold, but it's gonna rain, so I'm not gonna do anything. I'm gonna let the rain hit it so that it'll do what it does. My leeks are finally getting the rain and water that they need, and the onions at the top are getting what they need, so no complaints here. My herbs are doing okay. My thyme is starting to flower. Look at that fennel, guys. That fennel. Look at these onions. So my onion towers are doing okay. Look at those onions bulging up. Look at that. So these are not supposed to be ready until middle of July. So I'm gonna let them sit that long until they are, or until these die off completely. A lot of these were broken from the storm. They were kind of bent back, but they're not dead. So I'm trying to let them die off before I move them. Okay. And then over here, this tower needs to be completely revamped. These are all still spring cool weather crops. But over here, they get a nice little shade. My chervil here is gone. I'm just letting it go to seed. I'm going to keep one plant for seed. The other one I'll take. And then over here, I did revamp this one. So in the previous videos, you'll see that this one just had the pepper plants that you see here and the onions at the top, and it was like 2 pepper plants on the side. In here now is a little celery, some geraniums. Mostly every spot at this, from the geraniums on up to this tier and a couple up here, is all peppers. So that's what you're going to see in this tower. It's just all peppers. So everywhere should have a pepper. The bottom here, 2 of those areas do not have peppers. I'm still undecided. I may just put some flowers in those. But it's coming along. Even got little peppers coming. Okay, but that's this area here. And peppercorn here. I have to take a lot of the spinach out. The empty spots are for transplants of my strawberries over here. So I don't have any complaints with what I've had a chance to salvage. I just got to work on that lemon green stalk to get it together. I just finished planting this out and that other blueberry. Oh, I'm sorry. I missed my beans. So the beans over here are thriving. It's definitely time for some bush lake beans to get harvested. So pretty much every plant has beans, every one. But I don't want to harvest them because I just did some other beans that I want to cook, and I don't want to I don't like stuff to sit in my refrigerator. I like it fresh. So I'm not going to harvest those until I'm ready for them to be prepared, which will be this week. All right. But yeah, so this area. As you can see, some things over there are still doing well. This gets a lot of shade in this area. Today is going to be fully shaded. Cloudy, no sun, so I'm not worried about everything drying out, but I am going to give everything over here deep water after I harvest my chamomile. All right, so on to anxiety number 3. 1 being this gazebo, 2 being this pond, and 3 being this greenhouse. So all the plants had to come out of the greenhouse because when we had the tornado, it completely lifted that greenhouse up. It was all on level. Plants were on the floor, on the ground. We picked some up. Things were broken. Look at my tomato plant. It was just a lot. So as you can see, it's just a lot. So I said, well, I'm just going to make room in the garden, the main garden, for plants and whatever I can't fit in the garden because it was meant to be in the greenhouse. I'm going to put back in the greenhouse. We've since leveled it, fixed where it was broken. Let me work my way through this maze of chaos. I had to harvest my radishes that I couldn't do on video, but it's okay. But it was like broken here, lifted off the ground there, but it's completely bare. Completely bare. The pots you see are things that I had a chance to transplant into the main garden. Just taking every opportunity. I would like to do a lot of things with you guys instead of filming and then showing you afterwards, but that was the goal, but things took a toll in here, and I had to just keep it moving. So I would love to be able to share, like I did it with some of the spring plants, showing me planting things, transplanting things, just to show you how I do it. But it's okay. I'm going to get to that point because I would like to show beginner gardeners my steps for those that have asked me. And that's the goal. Right now, I have taken this opportunity to put my shade cloth up everywhere in here because when the summer hits, it's completely hot in here, even though we have the ventilation system. But this is the opportunity to do so when no plants can get broken or knocked over and things of that nature. So technically, there's a blessing in disguise. This needed an overhaul. I needed to take care of things, so that's what I'm doing. Okay. But on a lighter note, let me take you to some things that it makes me excited with this growing season as I work my way back there. But the nasturtiums are still going strong. Love them. Look at them. Love them. I had planned to harvest some, throw some in salads, but yeah, I said, you know what? I'm going to let them do what they do. Cucumbers are finally all coming up, flowering, doing really well. The rain is doing them justice. By next week, wait till you see them. The rain is going to completely do them well. I am going to fertilize everything today with the help of the grandbabies. Over here, the snapdragons are finally popping up. These have yet to open, but they will. The calendula, the violas are still holding on. These have been here since March. Everything out here has been here since March, except for the cucumbers. But the nasturtiums, everything has been out here since March. I did add a pepper plant here, so that kohlrabi that was here got broken when the gazebo lifted, completely snapped it in half. I had to discard it. Okay, all right. Rhubarb is still going strong. The other rhubarb is out there in that little red pot that was in there. So a lot of things were salvaged. A lot of things did get broken. My lavender took a little hit. Look at my kale. It took a hit. These are broken stems. So I just got to do what I got to do, guys. Got to do what I got to do. But back over here. Calendula. I did this calendula harvest once before. With calendula, the more you harvest, the more you get. So I'm going to take it all so I can keep coming. Snapdragons here, the calendula here, the nasturtiums there, everything. I am starting to get little cucumbers on here. One I did hand pollinate just to see how that's going to go. I did take a look at those beans. I took a few beans off of here, and now I see some more down there. Yeah, so this area is okay. It's a few more beans here that I have to get. But when I take the beans from the other ones, I'll get these. Okay. Sugar snaps. I have harvested sugar snaps for the last 3 days. My friend came by and got some. I have to show you that video. She just came and got them right before this video. So I'm going to go ahead and post that sometime soon. But the sugar snaps, because I know they're going to die out soon because it's starting to get a little too hot for them. So I'm just harvesting. But I love it. And there's probably still a bunch more that we didn't get, but it's okay because whatever ripens on here, like I'm looking at one right here, whatever ripens on here, I'm going to let it because I can always use the sugar snaps, let them dry out so I can have more seeds for next year, which is the goal. I would like to have, I can grow sugar snaps in the spring and in the fall, so I'll take it. All right, so this area is looking quite nicely. All right, so yeah, and I see some are drying out right here. So I love it. I love that. That's what I'm glad I let it. Because some of them, I never let them get to the point of maturing on the plant because we eat them. All right. Look at the zinnias. The zinnias are so pretty and pink. I love pink, guys. So this is starting to become one of my favorite little areas in the garden. And I hate that I did not do this last year. I had them in a different spot. But this is where they will be from now on. So this is what I like about them. I love the variety of the pinks, the shades of the pink, and just the beautifulness of the flower. In the pots with the zinnias are my butternut squashes. So as you can see, one is trellising up. So I'm working their way up. One has a little flower on it. Look at it. It's a male flower, but they're starting to flower. Okay, that's another Ella campaign that I'm going to plant somewhere in the garden. This is a perennial for me, so I got to find somewhere for that I want it to be permanently, because I don't want to keep uprooting it. I haven't discovered where I want that at. That's why it's still sitting there. Look at that Malabar spinach. Now, Malabar spinach is a summer spinach, and it vines. See how it's wrapping itself around? You can grow this spinach in the summer, okay? Unlike your traditional Bloomsdale, Carantha, your baby spinach that doesn't like the heat, this thrives in the heat. So if you want to have spinach in the summer, Malabar spinach or your Ethiopian spinach is what you want to grow, which I do have some of that in the garden as well. This here is that watermelon plant that is also starting to vine up. I'm seeing here little flowers on it, and I'm loving it. Look at the little flowers, guys. Love that. And the pollinators have been out, so can't do any complaints here. And I try to do the exact same replica on this side. I just haven't put my Malabar spinach over here yet. Shame on me. I'm getting to it. But butternut squash there. Zinnias here that haven't opened. I'm working on it. And then the little pots in between the sugar snaps and the butternut squash and the zinnias are my beans. So those are beans. Those are just more lush than these. Well, this is actually 4 plants. This is actually 2. I don't know why I don't have an equal amount of space on each side. I got to go and sit back and think about that. That would be a whole day for me, guys, just trying to figure out why. So let me not focus on that. It'll be a problem. So over here, there's some zinnias in here with the watermelons, which I do have 2 more zinnias that I need to place out here. I spot a weed, guys, that is, see, I got a little off track. See that? I'm trying to stay focused. Stay focused, Jamie. So, watermelons here. It is some, cantaloupe. It's some cantaloupe and honeydew melon. Cantaloupe, honeydew melon in these, and then watermelon in these. All right. So this was supposed to be my Romanesco broccoli, and I'm disappointed. Look at it. It's separating, guys. It was pretty. I did get a little picture of it, but it is separating, and that makes me sad. So I am going to have to pull that. But I will take my leaves and keep them for a smoothie, because that's what I do. I keep my cauliflower, broccoli, and Brussels sprout leaves. Brussels sprouts are more like a collard. The other ones taste kind of more like a collard turnip mix. So I do keep them and eat them. All right, I got to get this weed, guys. I couldn't take it. Okay. So back over there, these 2 buckets, and I'm starting to see, it seems like it might be cabbage moth, because it's starting to get little spots in there. But I'm trying to be careful, because I don't know if you see that spider web right there. So I'm trying to be a little careful, but I am going to check my plant to see what's eating it. Yep, that's what it is. So we're going to come back here and get those today. Over here in this pot, got a little broccoli coming there. This was that scarlet kale that I never pulled. I just let it do what it's going to do, and I'm going to take it. I need to hurry up and look at this. See, this is why the storm just threw me. Look at that kohlrabi. So that's definitely getting pulled, because I need to harvest that, cook it up, show you guys what I do with those. This is still, I left this for pollination. This is a bok choy. The other bok choys I took and put in compost. I use them for compost, but the seeds on this is great. So I'm leaving that. I said, I just need one. That's my problem. Just choose one, Jamie. So that's what I did. Let that one go to seed, and that's what I'm going to keep. The rest of them are all out of the garden, composted and living their life, fertilizing my plants. So we have the broccoli here, cauliflower there, kohlrabi there, back under there, hiding behind this other kohlrabi is some chamomile. This lettuce is starting to bolt, which I'm going to go ahead and take that out. I don't need any lettuce seeds. So it will just probably be some compost for me. And then another broccoli plant there, a tomato plant here. Right next to that is a pepper plant. I don't know how I just missed that, showing you guys that. That's a pepper plant right next to the bok choy. And then parsley here. And another, that's that parsley here, kohlrabi there. I'm trying to, let me go on this side. There we go. That's a kohlrabi, that purple spot. And then this is a transplant. This is a cabbage transplant because I needed to plant my watermelon in this place, so I moved it over here. Okay, so this is this bed here. Over here is some yellow squash, some zucchini that I've, let me see if I can, if there's some on here. I thought I saw some on here. Yeah, so some yellow squash on here. Some babies coming in right there. I have found a really good recipe for yellow squash and now I love it. This here is lemongrass. Look at it, guys. Beautiful. And then over here is a zucchini plant. I see a little zucchini coming on there. Zucchini don't stand a chance in my house. So like, the minute we harvest zucchini, it's gone. Whether it's zucchini bread, zucchini pasta, fried zucchini, zucchini pizza. Guys, like, there's so many things to do with zucchini. I'm going to have to share some of each of these recipes with you guys. For those who don't know what to do with zucchini or just don't like it, you're missing out. All right, over here some bush beans. So I wasn't planning on planting these. So I gotta, let me explain. So right there was supposed to be some cranberry bush beans. They didn't take well, so I'm going to replant some more. Over here is some pole beans that they're not going to stay here. The pack got wet in the storm, and they all sprouted. So I threw them in the dirt because we said, hey, we're not going to miss the opportunity to plant. I will spread them out in the garden somewhere. And then right there, you see that little swarm here? Those are my dragon tongues. They did the same. So I'm going to plant them right here. Some here and some there. So that's what they're sitting there for today. So those will get planted today. I just let them sit there so they can finish taking their roots, and they're going to get planted in. And again, this is acorn squash. That, I'm not sure because it was mislabeled and it hasn't, oh, yes it did. There it is right there. It's a yellow squash. Okay, because I was like, I don't know. I was waiting on it to do something because it was mislabeled. Compost bin there, which and it doesn't have a smell at all. Everyone says that comes here, like, why doesn't it have a smell? Why doesn't it have a smell? Because it's layered. It's layered. So you would think that decomposing food and things of that nature, like fruits and everything, it does not have a smell at all. You have to layer it. So when my husband cuts the grass, that goes on top, and that is immediate mask. And then as you put food, you mask. You put just leaves of that nature as it decomposes. They don't have a smell. It's very easy. You just consistently layer it. Leaves, whatever is falling, the trees have fallen, so many browns to put in here. Just layer it. And it does not have a smell at all. That's why I can keep it open. It does still attract flies, but it doesn't have a smell. That's why it's open. Okay, over here in this area. So this is a watermelon plant that I didn't plan to leave here, but it's here now. And I just sat it here because I didn't want the plant to die off. But I might leave it. Whatever. Those are those broccoli plants that you saw me harvest. If you did not see that video, check it out. I just recently posted it. So those are the broccoli plants. I'm saving them for the greens. Once I pour these out, I'm keeping this as a mixture of things. Despite the fact that it's in the center of my garden, this helps give it shade. That's why everything looks so lush and green in here, from the marigolds, a cabbage transplant that was over in the buckets. What was here was collards before, and I transplanted just fine. I'll have to show that one day. I did one last year, but I'll do another. But here's my zucchini that I just harvested. It's some yellow squash in here. So it's yellow squash, 2 yellow squash plants, or maybe 3 yellow squash plants and a zucchini plant. And they are taking over. And guys, you can eat these leaves. You can eat the leaves. Putting it in here helps me eliminate the squash vine borer because I just pull this down and I don't have an issue with them in here. They may come out here, but I did wrap the base in foil. One of them I forgot. We'll see if they attracted to it over there, but we'll see. But most of these are, I got tired of the squash vine borer, so hey, I had to figure something out. But it doesn't, when I pour this down, they don't work that hard to get in here. So that's why I put a couple in here. The rest are over there. All right, this area here still has my premier kale. I've harvested the broccoli out of here. I see some side shoots that I'm gonna get. And then the lettuce in here, over like the same for over there. Forgot about it, and it's bolting. So, oh well, but the other lettuces in here have been harvested out. All right, as I make my way back over here. So what's new over here? And so the last video you saw this one, but you didn't see that yellow one over there. So the yellow one was just added. So we're working on planting that out with tomatoes. So all of the 4x2s, yellow, purple, pink, will all have tomatoes and marigolds and possibly basil in each one, or tomatoes and basil or tomatoes marigolds. That's the goal. The blue 2x2s all have corn, and it's 3 of those. This one has a tomato plant that I sat there because it was dying off and I didn't have time to get it, so I just stuck it in there. Don't plan on leaving it there, but at this point, it might be its permanent location because I have so much to do. But I'm loving the way it's turning out. So these stakes are put here so that my plants can grow up. So I'm going to put twine onto the chicken wire fence that you see behind it to stake them up. So the wind, the storms blew them all like sideways. You see that? But they were all straight up and down. So I working on that. That one is not going to be done today. Some of them, it's not affecting the growth of the plant. I just don't like it aesthetically. And then here, this cover that I had on here completely got torn off by the storm. So there's another one on its way, and I'll cover them back up. But like today, on days on today, it's not a sunny day, so I'm not worried about them burning my plants. I did harvest that cabbage there, so I'll do a transplant on there from one of the bucket tables to move things over there to back over here. I realized I think I like this as my little cabbage patch or my brassica patch. So this will always be that because everything in here grows so beautifully. Everything. I did take that cauliflower. So I didn't do every cauliflower harvest. I had so many. But the cauliflower was there, so I do have 2 more spaces that I'm going to do some transplants in. So I might be able to move everything off of my bucket area over in here and just get that planted out. But this is how it looks. So it has not had the cover off for a while. But it's so pretty. Look, I love the variations of colors, the purples, the greens, tints of blue. I don't know. It's really pretty to me. Over here in this area, so the radicchio is doing really well. So these are pole beans that you can see they're wrapping up. Some of them are wrapping up. Some of them I'm training to wrap up. I'm going to twine the tops of these so they stay. I ran out, so I got to get some more of my green stakes from Home Depot, Lowe's, somebody, and stake that one up. I did have the little metal ones there, but I decided I don't want them here. I like this look. And then I'm going to just put those on my peppers. Just there. So in that brown bed there, that's just 4 tomato plants and 2 peppers. And that's how that will stay. And this one is all tomatoes. This is how they were supposed to look. This is how, for some reason, the wind didn't knock these over. But these are straight up. And thankfully, because I didn't come up with a plan on how I'm going to keep them if they fall. So pray with me that they stay this way. And remember I said that I did have some of that Ethiopian spinach. That's what that is right there. That's growing. That's going to, that's that summer spinach along with the Malabar that's over there. But yeah, these are bugs are buzzing in my ear, guys. I can't take it. But I did stake these up, so these are all indeterminates here. These are indeterminates here. And then over here, some more amaranth. And those 2, Sweet Annie, squash. Look at this little bitty squash flower. Look at this. Like, if you don't grow up some first, like, what you think you're doing? But that's some, like the yellow patty pans. That's what those are. And then that should be another Ethiopian spinach. I don't know why. I think it is. We're going to come back to that, though. I don't know. But it also could be some beans because they kind of grow the same in the beginning. But we're going to come back to that. The potatoes over here are doing well. Doing so well. It's time for fertilizer. Today's fertilizer day. So we're going to fertilize those. The corn. Let's get into this corn. Look at the silks. Look at the silks. Let's get into it. So peaceful over here. Love it. Now, I don't know what this corn doing over here. This is that bi-color. This is the one I purchased. Look at this. I don't know what it's doing. A little silk there, a little something here. Look, we're going to find out together. I don't know what that one doing. My peaches and cream is doing really well. As I work my way over here, I was trying, guys, so hard to show y'all these blackberries. But look at this. See how they gone? And no, it ain't the birds. Nope. It's called grandbabies. They must didn't see these. But they done been out here. And I ain't mad. I did want to show y'all a little bit, but they, look at them. It's okay. But they, hey, at least they like something in the garden, right? But yeah, so these are the blackberries, and they are doing well. I always thought these was my raspberries, but these are my blackberries, guys. So, I don't know. I'm just as confused as I was before. But anyway, these are the blueberries. Blueberries are coming in. Look at them coming in. They didn't bother these. I don't know if they didn't see them because those are so lush and red. I don't know, but they didn't bother them. But they didn't bother none of these. I still haven't moved these yet, which I'm working on. So much to do and so little time. And more blueberries. These are for sure blackberries, and they have not fruited yet either. I did move that amaranth that was in my greenhouse to here. So that's doing well. And this, I'm thinking about putting that Ella campaign in here. I did want to get some golden raspberries to put in here. But they may go here. So I will probably put that Ella campaign there. And then I finally got a chance to do two things. So that right there has a spotlight for the garden that is motion censored, so to shine light on this garden. So I can, if I'm out here at night trying to get something, I don't have to worry about waiting till the daylight to come out here if I want something late at night. And then the drip irrigation. This drip irrigation will go this way to water these, and that drip irrigation will go this way to water these. So that's what I'm in the process of installing. So back here, this was some plants that was in my greenhouse that got destroyed. These are some cucumbers. We're gonna see if they make it. If not, we're gonna move on. Cucumbers grow pretty fast for me, so I'll just put more here. And then everything else should be watermelon, with the exception of this one, which is my butterfly peas. So, but watermelon all along here. I just put these together. I had some last year that my dog chewed completely up, but I do like the way that these stand. They're really hardy and strong, and I'm not worried about the wind blowing them. These are the ones I took off where the radicchio is on the other side and put them over here for my watermelon because, they need to have some kind of trellis. I'm not sure if I want to leave these here because watermelons need good steady support, which is what these are. But these, to me, are not really good for my tomatoes. I'm sorry, for my watermelon. But these here do not fit in the smaller bags. They fit in the wider bags, not the more narrow bags. So we're going to see because I'm not moving them. So they may just have to sprawl out on the ground or something because I'm not moving them. Over here, sweet potatoes are doing well. Over here, pole beans are doing well. Sweet potatoes. Cucumbers that were like those over there, they look exactly the same. They're coming along. So I'm hoping that those do the same. Peanuts are thriving. So this is some squash that was just like that. Those cucumbers over there, I'm trying to salvage. We'll see. If they don't, I have plenty of squash. Like I don't need any more. This is supposed to be the can you see that there? Yeah. So we'll see. And then more sweet potatoes. And this here is my bergamot. That is a perennial for me. I was fighting myself to decide on how I want to, if I want to put that in a permanent location or not. Haven't decided. And then some tomatoes. So this is the one I'm currently working on now. I'm planting this out with the things that were in my greenhouse. So this is what I'm going to be working on today, as well as those bush beans over there. But that's not all I wanted to show you. So this is what I've been working on that has been taking up a lot of my time. So, these are my 28 different varieties of tomatoes in here. And as you guys know, tomatoes do not, if you don't know, let me not say that. Tomatoes do not like a lot of rain or like on them, damaging their leaves, giving them that rot. So I am building like a tomato pergola for my tomato paradise over here, tomato alley. And we're gonna put a cattle panel. So we started over here, putting a cattle panel. And then we decided I have these bamboo stakes that I'm gonna give for additional shade. And on top of that will be a shade cloth so that they're not getting full sun. But it'll also serve as a shield for so much of the rain getting on them. Because while they need water, they just don't like them on their leaves. So we are working to get that together. And so Look at the tomatoes, guys. They're coming on in. They're coming on in. So the goal is for all of the tomatoes to grow up. And you see how that one is through the actual cattle panel? We're going to bring it down some. But that's the whole point, to hold those in place. And that way we'll have a wall of tomatoes, rows of tomatoes. And because, why not? Each of these buckets that are holding the legs up, I didn't want to implant them in the ground because wood will deteriorate and rot over time. I just wanted a quick and easy solution to redo this in years to come as I need to. But I have the bottoms wrapped in plastic so that it's not worn over time, even, deteriorating over time. And of course, there's a bucket that's holding that in place. And then the white bucket is just serving as more planting space. So originally I was like, I should do a drip irrigation with these buckets, but I'm not. I can always do a drip irrigation with that right there and just install it on the side. But nonetheless, that's why it's here. So I decided to fill these up with dirt, soil, and plant in them. So I planted everything out with that one over there because that one still doesn't have the cement in them. So the orange bucket has the cement to hold this in place. That one, we ran out of cement. So we'll take care of that one. But these all have plants in them. This is a pepper. That's borage. That's a hollyhock. Same thing over there. Peppers, borage, and a hollyhock. Guys, I'm aesthetic. I have to do it. This is another hollyhock that I'm going to plant here with the peppers, and this is stevia. And then over there is some alfalfa, peppers, and borage. And then on this one over here, that's 2 hollyhocks that will be planted in with some chamomile and a pepper plant that's going to go here. And of course, a pepper plant is going to go there. So they all have peppers. I was trying to get them to have all of them to have hollyhocks, but I ran out of hollyhocks. So some other flower is going to go there. But this is my project in the making. And once this is done, then I can breathe a little sigh of relief and kind of start maintaining the garden. But I got to build, maintain. But this was going to do wonders for my tomatoes so that they're not stressed. And I'm not stressed. And we're all happy. But that's it, guys. It's not. I did not go over there to the trees, to the peach trees. But honestly, there has been no progress on the growth of my peach tree or the apple tree over there as far as growth of the fruit. But the plants are still standing and thriving, just like my asparagus patch right there. I swear it's a train every time I do a garden tour. I promise you it is. But you see, the grass needs to be cut, but my husband's lawnmower was damaged from the storm, so we have a push lawnmower, and I think that's not gonna happen because, we might just have to wait till it get fixed because this is a lot for my husband to do, in addition to everything else he's doing. So, and then we also have that fence back there that we're trying to get repaired. So we got a lot. The storm knocked us down, but it did not knock us out. So we are slowly rebuilding things and just adding to. So, but this is my little 360 view of the garden here. I know you guys cannot see the area over there, or the greenhouse, but you get the picture. But I said all that to say, gardening is full of ups and downs. For me, more ups than downs. I'll say this much, and then I'll go ahead and end this because it's been 45 minutes already. What this storm did for me is actually 3 things. One, it forced me to do the things that I needed to do. I needed to revamp that greenhouse with the setup, the layout, put my shade cloth up, and I put it off for so long because I did not want to move all of the plants. So guess what? The storm said, well, you're going to do it now. So that's what I'm doing. Also, it knocked down 4 of my green stalks. Which 4 did they knock down? The 4 that needed to be revamped. So I said, when I sat back and thought about that, I said, wait a minute. It's just forced me to do the things I had to do already. I was just putting them off because it seemed like such a drag. And so that was something that I just had to do. And then lastly, it did not destroy everything. And it could have. And I'm thankful for that. and realize that regardless of any setbacks that you have and any adventure that you do, you just get back up, because when you love it enough, you're going to get back up and do what you need to do. So with that being said, if you are still contemplating on whether or not gardening is for you, bugs are going to be here. Storms are going to happen. Rain is going to happen. Plants are not going to make it all the time. Rain is going to wash away some things that you have tried to, upkeep. And guess what? That is happening to every gardener out here. No one gardener has always had one full successful year without something happening. I can promise you that. The goal is to keep moving if you love it. I love this. I could do this every day. If I could make this my full-time job, just gardening, I would. But it is not paying the bills for me yet. Strongly on the yet. Oh, but with that being said, happy growing, everyone. Look at those Brussels.